Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. So, we're back in Final Fantasy. And plan for today is pretty simple, basically. I have... let's see, what was I trying to say? Last time I streamed Final Fantasy, I think it was last time at least, I was working on the Splinters tool for Miner. And I completed that one on that stream, the first upgrade at least. Then I fucked up though afterwards, because I was basically going like, oh, I can, while I'm working on the the one, like the upgraded version of the pickaxe, like the second upgrade, I can go ahead and start working on the axe as well. And then I accidentally turned in the stuff of the pickaxe without realizing it, so I ended up completing the pickaxe. So now I've basically gotten the botanist axe upgraded, or all the way up, so I can basically upgrade it right now. So yeah, I was a bit of a dum-dum with that. Yeah, we're basically gonna quickly upgrade that, so we can just get the cutscene, just have it captured at least. Hold on a second, I need to cough. There we go. Yeah, once we've done that, just to finish up that quest, we're gonna go to the labyrinth, get rank 6, and complete that quest. And I'm probably gonna save the dailies, the 6 dailies I think I can do after that, for later tonight, basically after the stream, where I'm just gonna do some daily things. And then after we're basically done with the labyrinths, we're gonna go to Razadhan and get started on the, or at least on one of the role quests. Currently the ones that I can complete are, I can complete either the tank, healer, melee DPS, or caster DPS. Can't do physical ranged yet because I don't have a character at level 80 or buff. But if I'm trying to basically go for the mentor crown, I basically just need to do for tank, healer, and then one of the 3 DPS. I don't need to do all 3 DPS, I just need to do for one of the 3 role quest series that are there at least. So yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and complete the quest.
I see you've come through for us again, Shauna. Right. We have the tool, the materials, and, fate willing, the talent. Bide here a while, and we'll be back with an even more splendid masterpiece.
Still need to kind of figure out which role quest I want to do. Not really sure yet.
We've done it again. Hold up your crystalline hatchet and bathe in its new radiance.
Oh, we have a crystal tool.
Yes. It's as if it were an extension of your very arm. To craft such tools is every artisan's dream. Thank you again, Shauna.
Gotta assume that there's probably more you need to do for this, in later patches. Yeah, I got the crystalline hatchet. Basically, from what I understand with these tools, it's basically just that you get a bonus to certain things. Basically, the gatherer ones have at least the miner and botanist one have an increased chance of triggering collector's intuition, by 20% when gathering collectibles, which is nice, but there are limits to how useful that is necessarily. I haven't gotten the fishing one created at all yet, so I don't really know what that one does. And I currently have the saw, or the carpenter, blacksmith, and armor tools at least. But I could technically also buy an additional tool if I want to, now that I look at it. I might wait with that until I have a bit more inventory space. Yeah, I think these basically just make it so that when the condition, or whatever it's called, I'm forgetting what it's called exactly when you're crafting, there's like a status that the materials can be in or something like that. Or the craft, I am forgetting exactly what it's called. Maybe see it, because I think there's a trait or something related to that. Oh yeah, material condition. I think it's something where it's like, if it's like, I think it's if your material condition is good or excellent, it has some sort of effect, but I could be wrong. I just don't really remember the exact details of it. Anyway, off to Marlin and Torum. This way's a barrel. And work with the lockers a little bit more. Let's be with Dreamway, I'm assuming. Yep. Teamwork makes the dream work. Greenway is concerned with the fate of one Loprit in particular.
Shauna, you recall that curious character who we've seen, for lack of a better term, lurking about Hopper's Hold, don't you? Well, I hear tell that they also spend a great deal of time lurking about the Watcher's Palace. A regular lurking way, that one. In any case, it seems that the Dreaming Workshop isn't meeting their needs. I should like to ask them how we can be more helpful. Would you join me? Perfect. I've already checked all our nooks and crannies, so with any luck, they'll be lurking by the Watcher's Palace as we speak.
Okay, so I guess we need to sit over there. I do really quickly want to check something. Okay, so that has not appeared yet. I basically saw a post on, I think it was a Reddit link earlier today, about there's apparently, I guess maybe it's once you progress to a certain point in the Loprit's quest line, there's going to be like some paint, like some small paintings around the place, sort of hidden. So I guess I'm going to be on the lookout for that, because I kind of want to try and find all, if not just most of them at least, once those start appearing. Okay, what is lurking ways, what we are calling them? Doing?
They must be around here somewhere. Perhaps they grew tired of the view, and decided to take their lurking elsewhere. Oh, it's them. Quickly, before they slip away. Hail, my good way. If I'm not mistaken, you have come to enjoy the offerings of our dreaming workshop a number of times, have you not? Enjoy? Hardly. Though I suppose watching you pointlessly exert yourselves has been entertaining enough. That's, good. But I was hoping that we might assist you in finding a dream of your own. And what is it you expect me to dream of? Fanciful machines? Colorful cuisines? I think not. Without the people of Etheres to delight in them, such pursuits are meaningless, one and all. I cannot say I agree. No matter. Your exertions have their place in supporting my petition to Living Way. When she authorizes my hibernation, I shall dream sweet dreams at last.
Okay.
So their dream is, that's a lot of nonsense, if I do say so myself. You can hardly follow your dreams while you're asleep.
For some reason my mouse fucked up and apparently skipped because I wasn't trying to even click, I was just like dragging, for some reason it clicked, but it does that sometimes for some reason.
Perhaps Livingway will understand better than I do. It sounds like our Ashenford friend has spoken of this matter to her before.
Okay. I go to the best way Sparrow and speak with Dreaming Way again. And it looks like we need to go up on the upper level.
Why is it so difficult to find anyone today? Living YAI. There you are, Living Way. Might we have a word? So soon? I had thought your project was proceeding apace. Overall, yes, but we're struggling with one way in particular. Are you familiar with an Ashenford Laporit? Red eyes, mysterious, absolutely adorable until they open their mouth? Oh, yes. I was aware they had paid visit to Hopper's Hold, but I wasn't aware that you were aware. Perhaps you may yet succeed where I have not. You are aware, Shauna, that the Laporits were created to prepare the moon for man's arrival, and that these preparations required substantial time and effort. All bent toward our common goal in their own way, but some Laporits went above and beyond. One in particular. The very same. This most passionate of ways took the name Counseling Way. Their role was to lend a listening ear and provide advice to the people of Etheres, something we anticipated would be sorely needed, given the abrupt displacement you all were to face. More than any other, they sought to understand your people. They studied, they practiced. And they looked forward to the day when they would finally meet you. As you can imagine, the change of plans came as a terrible shock. They became uninterested in their former pursuits, and are adamant that naught of worth remains for them to do. I was unable to persuade them otherwise, and after some time, they disappeared from the burrow altogether. It was shortly thereafter that other Laporits began sighting an Ashenford Way wandering mare lamentorum. Oh dear. Even I didn't recognize them at first. I wondered whence this new way had sprung. Then I watched them stand out there, gazing at the sky, at Etheres, and I realized. It was the grief that had changed them. A loss too heavy to bear. It came as no surprise when they asked to be put back into hibernation. Yet I cannot allow it. Even with the final days averted, there must be a place for us in this world. I know there is, we need only reach out our paws. I said as much, but it's as if they cannot hear me. And no matter how many times I refuse them, they return with their petition for eternal sleep. It would be a tragedy to lose a Laporit with so much love in their heart. We must find a way to help them. To give them a new dream. Not that I know what that would be. Thank you for telling us of this, Livingway. We should ask the others for help. This matter is of dire import. I shall see you in Hopper's Hold soon, then. A moment, Shauna. If anyone can save Count Lingwei, it's you lot. And they can be saved, I must believe that. So please, do everything in your power. On behalf of Laporit kind, I beseech you.
I'll try my best. Okay, so bring away. I'm gonna have to craft for this one actually. Possibly painting supplies, I guess. Unless I don't need to craft anything for this one.
There you are. Come, we must bring Managing Way into our confidence. So, what do we do? This Counseling Way has visited the workshop several times, correct? Yet we have seen no measurable results thus far. And they are not the only Laporit to have been dissatisfied with our offerings. Though a significant portion have gravitated to the dreams on display, many remain uninterested. We must try a different tack, one that targets this demographic specifically. I see. But what could a Laporit who doesn't fancy music or mechanics or mealtime possibly enjoy? We might look to what else they have in common. Assuming my mental register is correct, and it usually is, the remaining Wayward Ways had roles that would have involved direct contact with the people of Etheres. In addition to consulting roles like Counseling Ways, there were those specializing in guiding the people around our facilities, interpreting, and other aspects of hospitality. Oh. That means all of them would have been especially disappointed to find out that our guests weren't coming. They could hardly carry out their work alone. What if we didn't wait for them to take interest in a new dream all by themselves? If we bring everyone together to work toward a common goal, it may remind them what it's like to have a purpose again. Teamwork is key, to be sure, but what sort of project could we give them? Do you have any ideas, Shauna?
Not singing, please no singing. But underestimate the value of art. Let's go with that one.
Such as painting.
They apparently didn't have any interest in music, as far as what they said.
Look at these boring walls we have. Surely they could use a touch of paint, or, gasp, a mural. Expressing oneself through art is a proven means of processing negative experiences. Though some may prefer a medium other than paint. Never fear, I shall arrange for a variety of supplies. At minimum, we can expect to attract Counseling Way's attention once more. Just where we want them, paying attention. For the time being, let us focus on gathering as many Wayward Ways as possible. With you here, it should be easy. Even the most listless Laporit would jump at the chance to work together with a representative of mankind. We only need to find them. Again.
Fine, or recruit 3 listless blood pirates over in, what's this place called again? Caratorium. There is one.
You want to create something, together. Is that allowed? I can't see much of a point in it. Yet I can hardly refuse a request from a person of Aetheres. Even now. Express my feelings through art. That sounds difficult. Though if it helps people, or even just you, I suppose we can give it a try.
Okay, and the last report or group of reports could be 2 of them, or maybe even 3, or just 1.
Painting. I don't know much about art, I'm afraid. But if you insist, I can join you as moral support. My job was supposed to be helping people in need, after all.
Okay, so I'm assuming that it probably is art supplies we're gonna craft then, because done the musicking station components, the machining components, supplies, restaurant grade supplies. Haven't done radio, but we also haven't done painting supplies, and they usually go in the order, these lists.
Thanks to your persuasive personing, we have more participants than we know what to do with. I jest, of course. Managing Way always knows what to do. Speaking of which, they've asked that you create a few palettes. Some of our painters would like to use a great many colors. As always, Managing Way has provided supplies, for your convenience and ours. More can be had from the Dreaming supporter if you need them. I may step away to make sure that no one else attempts to paint the wall with Cooking Way's frosting, but trust that you will find me here when you're done.
Okay, and needs to be high quality.
Just in time to prevent further frosting-based incident. I'll take those off your paws.
Okay, judging by the required volume, Lobards may go. Lobards really go through art supplies. Okay.
I shall see these distributed to our artists post-haste. I can hardly wait to see the finished product.
Okay. We have a giant mural.
I had hoped they would enjoy themselves, but I never imagined they would become so absorbed in their work, nor create such a magnificent mural. This is by far our greatest success yet. Art. Truly, you're making my task too easy. Counseling Way. Do not call me that. 'Tis a relic of a life I care not to remember. Noted. Would you like to try your paw at painting? Not particularly. There is a distinct lack of unified vision here, yet somehow, it works. Art is a mystery indeed. I had no idea that art could be so liberating. I haven't had this much fun in ages. Fun. Perhaps I once knew what that was like. With all of the Laportes we've helped, I'd like to think we've done our part. Still, we cannot stop. No, we will not stop. Not until we've helped Council Lingwei, and anyone else who has yet to find a dream. The imaging station is now open, allowing once wayward ways to vent their innermost emotions through creative pursuits. There are yet Laportes that want for a new purpose, however. Continue expanding the workshop to see what dreams may come.
Okay. Rank up. Swing. Or travel request. Travel request complete and then rank up. Yep.
You have achieved. You may raise their new Laporte tribal daily. Furthermore, these additional. You now have access to
more stuff I can buy. Nice. Okay, let's go and check what that includes. Wait, that's going away. Please, it's 40 away. Okay, so let's see. We got Battle 1 from Final Fantasy 4, I guess. Right, we'll get that. Just use that, I guess. And is it how that thing is here, or is it not? Here it appears. Ah, yeah, they are. Okay, so there's basically like a bunch of these. I guess people have been, to an extent, referring to them as either hidden Mickeys or hidden Laportes, just in different places. But yeah, there's one here apparently. But yeah, they're apparently hidden around places in this area. There's another one inside the DJ area. Assuming that there might be one inside each of these areas. Or maybe not. Seeing any? Ah, wait, there's one. Just completely missing it. Can't get close to that. None there, but there is one there. Ah, okay, so we have oh my god. That's fucking great. Just the giant lopper just eating a carrot. Also, the art styles kind of differ from painting to painting. Here's one that's just like made a relatively simple upward. I wonder what that's supposed to be like, this area, or if it's not really relevant to anything or related to anything. Might also be one around here. Ah, yep, there's one there. There might be more, but they might not be visible yet, because I think we're probably still missing maybe that area. We cleared out. Could be, I'm not really sure yet. Anyway, actually don't do that quite yet. Also, I don't need to go to Thavnir, I need to go to Rasad Han specifically. Just quickly deal with my retainers. There. So let's see here. We need to go up here in order to get started on one of the role quests. Now the question is just which one to get started on. As I said earlier, we have 4 options at least. We can either go for healer, tank, melee DPS, or magic DPS. Just don't know which one to go for. I'll quickly try and see here. Okay, Gridania is tank. Elamigo and maybe Ulda could be the case. Is healer and physical DPS is I guess, and caster is Ishgard, so physical ranged is Dope. You know what? Let's go with our starting city. Gridania. And I'm actually also curious, how many quests are there? I'm not really sure how many there actually are per role quest, or series basically. Okay, so we started at 85 and we basically have 85, 86, 87, 88, 89 and 90. So we have 6 quests basically to do for each of them, which ends in a quest where you get an achievement, some materia, and after doing all of them we basically have access to 4 quest it seems. So yeah. Also, I could be getting XP from this, but I don't have any tanks. I actually don't have any classes that are level 85 that aren't maxed level already. Yeah, we're just gonna start it on Warrior, I guess, because that's the one that I feel most comfortable playing as. Okay, Shrouded in Peril. The Gridanian delegate is in urgent need of a stout defender to help combat a new threat to his homeland.
I have come on behalf of the Twin Adders to enlist the aid of accomplished fighters. The small folk cower in their homes for fear of an unprecedented threat to the Twelves would, a blasphemy. It strikes quickly and with deadly precision before returning to the shadows whence it came. Try as we might, we have yet to devise a means to track it, much less slay it. Several brave souls search for it even now, but their chances would improve greatly if they had a stout protector by their side. Judging by your reputation, I dare say you're precisely the woman we seek. What say you? Will you serve as the shield that stands between Gridania and certain doom?
You've made it difficult to refuse. Protecting the realm is what I do.
I will take that as an enthusiastic yes. Make haste to the Adder's Nest and report to my superior. All Gridania shall pray for your success.
Cast return. Okay. Yeah, just over to Adder's Nest and is it the person that usually stands here? Oh, this person. Blasphemy, something, something. Just gonna add in both of these.
Our liaison at Rad's Adhan sent word of your arrival, but I can still scarcely believe our luck. Are you truly here to help us bring this wicked blasphemy to heel? Then there is hope for us yet. I shall fetch the Elder Seed Seer at once, she is leading the hunt, and I'm certain she'll be most eager to see you.
Can you set up?
Full glad am I to welcome you in good health and good spirits, Shauna. On behalf of all Gridania, allow me to thank you for rising to our defense yet again. You will forgive me for eschewing further formalities, as time is of the essence. I shall share with you what little we know of this elusive scourge. Following the events in Thavnair, we received a report that an unidentified man had fallen into fits on the road before transforming into a beast most foul, a blasphemy, we soon determined. Eyewitnesses to subsequent attacks spoke of patterns on its skin reminiscent of heavy chains, and thus we have named it Gleipnir, for the creature of legend. It emerges from the brush without warning, bringing destruction and tragedy to those unfortunate enough to be near. Ere we can respond, it retreats into hiding, leaving no trace for us to follow. The elementals cry out for us to rid the forest of this wicked presence. Yet even if we tracked it to its lair, I fear besting the beast would be no simple matter.
The wounds of Gleipnir's victims are tainted by corruption. We can but conclude that the fiend's fangs, claws, and horns are all imbued with a powerful poison.
Give me just one quick second, because I just think I remembered something regarding previous streams. I don't think I've exported those yet. So I might just like quickly make sure that I do that so I don't have to start uploading it on my own. Let's quickly see here. That was something that I was planning on basically doing earlier, but I kind of forgot to do. Let's see here. Was that one exported? It was not. Okay, let me just quickly export this one. That should be it. Exporting now at least. Just going to check over here. Yep, that's being exported. Good. Good. And I might as well, while I'm at it, also export the Elder Ring string from the other day. Just so I don't end up forgetting about that. That would be kind of dumb. Okay, so both of those should be going currently. Yep, both are being processed. Good. Don't need to worry about that at least anymore.
The smallest scratch sends the afflicted into fits, and death soon follows.
Mayhap you know of the creeping death? The effects of Gleipnir's vile poison bear more than a passing similarity to the symptoms of that deadly plague. It swept through the Twelveswood many years ago. The sick found their skin covered in chain-like patterns, and spent their final moments in excruciating pain.
'Twas long before I came to Gridania, but people still speak of it with dread. Is it true that the disease spared not a single ire?
Very nearly, yes. Before the remainder were taken we were able to devise a cure from the Glimshroom. Slow though it was, the scars of this tragedy could then begin to heal. Gleipnir threatens to reopen old wounds, I fear. Yet despite the similarities between the blasphemy's corruption and the creeping death's marks, it is unclear how these two phenomena are related, if at all. Both conjury and white magic have failed to abate the poison's spread. To confront Gleipnir now would place our soldiers at risk of grievous injury.
Forgive me, Elder Seedseer, but this appears to be urgent. What? Again?
Hey there, Ryuko. Welcome to the stream. Endwalker. Yep. How are you doing today?
Gleipnir has struck once more, in the North Shroud. The whalers came too late to see the beast themselves, but the man it attacked yet lives. They are bringing him to Fallgord Float as we speak.
Then we must meet them there. Will you accompany us, Shauna? Ethelmer should be able to apprise us of the details upon our arrival.
Fallgord Floats, I guess, is our next destination. Being lazy, doing crafter dailies, nice. How am I? How am I? I'm doing fine. Was at school today, learning some more, or again, learning weird. We're currently supposed to be using, or learning and just using, what's it called again? WordPress for our current assignment. And we're technically learning how to use it, but not really. Like, we're basically just being told, oh yeah, just start messing around with it. The only problem is just that I feel like a lot of us have problems figuring out like how WordPress works. So it's kind of confusing when you're just like trying out like, oh yeah, how do I move this thing? Oh yeah, you can't do that. Like, why? Or rather, you can, but you have to use two very annoying methods. Either use CSS to try and move a thing that's not placed in the proper area in terms of in terms of the HTML or PHP, which I think it technically is, or you have to go into the PHP files and change things in there, which is like that's not gonna be a good way of doing it, because no one in my class knows how to do PHP, or I think there might be like 3 of us that have some knowledge of it, but still, like, why? It's just kind of, it's a bit annoying. We aren't really getting any, like, being taught anything in terms of how to use it. It's just try shit out. So, yeah. So yeah, most of my day has basically just been spending it sitting in class and just trying to get stuff to do what I wanted to do and figuring out like how does stuff in WordPress work. And the thing that I hate most is just the fact that there's no easy way to just edit the like HTML/PHP part of it, which is like, that's annoying to me. Especially when I know how to code and could probably do some of the setup stuff faster by simply coding it. But then I have to basically be like, oh yeah, how do I do this? How do I edit the menu? Like this menu thing. Oh, you need to go into this thing and then click on these things and like, just let me write it. But we need to use it for our current assignment because like it's a literal requirement for us to use that. It just annoys me. But yeah, in terms of Final Fantasy, I've just before I got the Lobbers to rank 6. I haven't done the dailies for today, so I'll do those after the stream probably. Also, did I? Nope. Or I haven't updated that. I also quickly, because I had gotten the items for it, finished up the crystalline hatchet. Because I basically accidentally crafted the crystalline pickaxe. Because I had all the materials, and I was planning on saving that for today's stream. But I was like, oh, I accidentally crafted that one because I wasn't paying attention to which class I was playing on. So I basically had to just get this one. But they're fine tools. I can't put any material into them, which is a bit annoying because they're technically the same. Like they have the same stats as my current gathering tools. And they have a nice effect on them of increasing the chance of triggering collector's intuition by 20% when gathering collectibles. That's a cool one. Problem is just they can't get as high stats, which annoys me. But yeah. And then currently we're also just doing one of the Endwalker role quest lines. Also, hey there, Fabo, how are you doing today? Yep, many companies use WordPress, and you'd rather build your own CMS or set up than touch that shit. Yeah, like from what our teacher, who I think might be relatively new at teaching, because gotta be honest, his teaching style is not exactly the best currently, but he's doing his best. I can at least see that. He did agree with me and another person who has technically taken the education before, but only like the first or some of the first semester, and then had to basically drop out due to her having a kid. But it seems like WordPress is usually used by people that tend to like probably how do I say this? What we basically agreed on is that WordPress is probably used primarily by people that either don't know how to code because it allows them to make a simple website that doesn't require any sort of coding experience. You just put things in and it does its thing. Or by like small like websites or companies that might not have the ability to necessarily hire a full-on programmer or coder to basically deal with the whole setup and everything. So it's like it does its thing, but I think if you want a like custom made like site, getting a person to actually build it is probably better, and you can possibly get a so you can probably also get a person to maybe make a CMS system or use a pre-made one to basically set some other stuff up, basically like use a CMS system but then to like do everything in the background, but then have a like make the front end part yourself, because I feel like that's the part that's the more annoying part of WordPress, in my opinion, from what I've experienced so far. Many times they use a coder to set up, and then the owner can do it themselves after that. So they don't need you again. It's a standard in the industry, yeah. Because yeah, as soon as the website is basically set up, all they need to do is just like, oh yeah, we have a new product, or we need to change something in the product. Go into the product menu, change the things, get done. So it basically handles most of it, and it's pretty simple. Instead of doing some of the stuff, because we had to on my previous education, or the previous education that I took, we had to make our own CMS system at one point, or as the teacher called it, an admin panel. And it was a fun thing, and it was a very nice experience. And I used mine for like
doing this
every single fraud. But the hell? Oh, it's a fate that spawned in. That's why it starts on. But yeah, I basically like my CMS system. I had basically I basically used mine for like every single project we did afterwards, because I was just happy with it. Was it a necessarily great one and very intuitive one? Not really, but it did what it needed to do, and I knew how to use it, so that's all that really mattered to me. Only problem was just that I had to also deal with all the whole process of like setting up all the SQL calls to like pull the data, send it back to the server or to the database so it can be saved and updated or deleted and all that. It's like, fuck. That took a while. Like, I will say, WordPress does make that so much easier, because you don't need to deal with that headache, but at the same time, I don't like the whole front end part of it. That still annoys me so much. That's probably also because we haven't been taught a good enough way to actually deal with that, because it took me. I tried to spend, I think I used like an hour. I think I tried, or maybe it was only like 30 minutes, trying to move a search bar from one place, from like let's say that the area you can see here, like of the game. This was like the header area. We had like basically a logo or something like that here that I put in. Had a menu sort of here. Over here there was like a, I don't even know what to call it, like the cart or something. And then here there was like a search menu. I want to move that search or search bar basically down in between the menu and the cart. I could not do that in a nice way, because, or rather I could maybe have done it if I had started using grid, like made that whole entire thing into grid, but I didn't at that time. I was just trying like, oh yeah, let's just try and push it down or something like that. I couldn't get it to work nicely without having to possibly use several media queries, which I was just kind of like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to start doing like several media queries where it's like, oh yeah, the search bar has position relative. It now needs to get pushed like something left, or maybe it was right. I don't remember, based on like that stuff, and then move certain amount from the top down, and then based on the width of the page, it needs to be moved slightly more to the, in like that direction, and slightly more up or down, and it's just like, I would just prefer to just take the search bar, just throw it down in the div that contained the like the menu and the what is it called again? The cart area. Like I just wanted to do that. That would fix my entire problem, but nope, don't know how to do that. Well, that infuriates me because I'm so used to basically being able to control all that stuff with just code, and it's like, that's annoying. Funny front-end design is rare to be taught. Yeah. Like, I don't mind funny or like weird front-end designs. It's just, it annoys me that they like, because me and another girl in my class, that we were basically the ones who talked to our teacher about like the whole like, oh, where's WordPress usually used, and she basically had the same assumption as I had when first we heard about WordPress, and that was that it was a whole like, oh, drag and drop sort of thing, kind of like with I think Squarespace and certain other like website creating online things use a just like, oh, you just drag and drop something and then it just is there and then you can move it around. We thought it was like that. What do you think? This is Dreamweaver? Not quite. One day to just sit down and talk front end with me. I mean, I could potentially do that one day. Don't really know when. But yeah, basically just mess around a bunch with WordPress today, and we also have like, it might be next week, I'm not really sure. We're supposed to have like our second WordPress workshop, as they called it, which is like, we only have 3 lessons essentially in WordPress, and let's see, the first time we had WordPress, that was for like 2 lessons that day, which was basically just like, all we learned there was just, oh, here's how you set up WordPress on one.com, because that's the website or hosting service we're using, because that's what the school decided. But yeah, it was just like, oh yeah, here's how you basically set it up. And then today, the only thing we were really taught was like, oh yeah, here's how you set up a child theme, which we weren't even shown how to actually utilize in any way. So I was kind of like, why was that even necessary? Well, like, I think technically we were shown it because it basically allowed us to just make edits to one of the themes that we basically told to pick for WooCommerce. But where those changes won't actually change the main theme, it was something weird like that. I don't really know, but yeah. And I had to spend a bit of time setting up or helping 2 from my group basically set up WordPress and WooCommerce and the child themes, because they weren't there the last time we basically had WordPress, so they didn't have anything set up. And for both of them ended up, for 2 different reasons, ended up having a fucked up install of WooCommerce, which is a plugin for WordPress, which basically just helps with like store setup, I guess. But one of them, the first one, I couldn't remember if you need to like say yes to basically installing something. That installed like 7 things that we did not need, so we need to uninstall all of that. And the second one, that was afterwards. I knew that that thing wasn't supposed to be installed, or said yes to installing. He just clicked through it a bit too fast, so he accidentally set it to install. And then I was just like, that one's not supposed to be installed. But Dreamweaver, we started out using Dreamweaver on my previous education. It wasn't terrible, but it did basically end up being a problem where it just continuously crashed. every single time we tried closing it. Like, none of us could close down Dreamweaver. It crashed when we tried closing it, which was kind of annoying. And then we ended up learning about, like, oh, here's a Visual Studio Code that doesn't crash whenever we try and close it. So that was like, oh, let's just use that, so we don't have to spend like a few extra minutes just trying to get it to close down, either by waiting for Windows to finally realize that, oh yeah, this program isn't responding anymore, or by basically opening up the I'm forgetting what it's called now, the task manager, and just forcing it to shut down from there. Grad, want that too. What about you, Ishii? Would you like to join? Oh, maybe it's been so long since you ever did anything front end, like, yes. There. Like, I've been basically learning some React as well recently. That was just more on my own part, because I felt like I kind of just want to learn that, because I had tried learning that back in, I think it was like summer 2020, I think it was. And I kind of learned a little bit of it. That was for like a portfolio website I tried making. Only problem was just that I was not really the best at doing React there, because the tutorials that I found weren't exactly the best. And the website itself just ran like absolute shit, because I tried. I think I had probably done some dumb things, like I think I was using DigitalOcean as a hosting service, and I didn't feel like paying for like a database on like, which would basically cost more on their service. So I just went, oh yeah, here's the server that I have bought. Let me just install a database on there and run it through there. The problem was just that it kept crashing. So I basically had to try and set up something where, oh yeah, every like few hours or 6 hours or something like that, I basically just told the the server or the website thing to just be like, yeah, just restart, because it would just constantly not work. And after messing around with that for like, I think I had that website up running for like, I don't know, over a year or something like that, I just went at the end, just like, fuck this, it's running so badly, and just shut it down, because it just wouldn't work. But now I finally have a portfolio that actually works. Granted, I also don't have a web or a database installed on the same server, because I can't really install one there, even though it technically is installed, but that's in a different way because of how one comes set up. Still don't know how to connect React to a database though, so that's a slight problem that I need to figure out how to do. I also don't know if it's even possible with React, because I can't use terminal commands or Node.js or anything like that on 1.com, which is really annoying. Maybe there's a way around that. I have no idea though. Just remember to react to it. I do. I make sure to react to it. Especially when it starts being like, oh yeah, on the local machine it works completely fine. Upload it to 1.com. For some reason it can't find the pictures. Why can't it find the pictures that I specifically can see that, oh, these are uploaded in the location that it's looking for them? Why can't it find it? Oh, wait, it's because the file extension is written in capital letters and not like small letters, and it's like, oh, that's relevant apparently. So for some reason, like, I think I even posted it in the Discord under like coding at one, like a few say the start of this week or something like that. But I basically had a problem where the images just wouldn't load because their extension was, like, in the code it was trying to look for like the image's name dot and then in small letters PNG, but the files were saved as the same name dot and then capital letters PNG or JPEG I think was, and because it wasn't the same like capitalization of the file extension, it just wouldn't work. And then I was basically told that oh yeah, that's actually because of it probably being Linux being a bit of a dum-dum, I guess, or just how it works. I think it was Luna that basically gave me a little heads up of like, oh yeah, that's how it works because of Linux stuff, but Windows being just like, oh yeah, it doesn't really care. Like, but now I at least know that, oh yeah, make sure to actually change that, because otherwise it breaks. But, yeah, that's at least something I know now, that don't write it in different ways. The server might not like it. Anyway, how long have I been sitting here? I've been sitting here talking for like 20 minutes. I haven't done anything else. I should probably continue with the quest.
Elder Seed Seer, you honor us with your presence. I cannot thank you enough for coming all this way.
Given the dire circumstances, I would not leave this to another. Where is the wounded man?
Outside of the bobbing cork, being attended to by one of our heroes. He's a capable healer, but I worry this is beyond his abilities.
You've done something greater than if you ranted. Yep.
I shall do all in my power to aid him. I in turn may have need of assistance as well. I ask that you stay close, both of you.
Okay. Go to this here. Oh yeah, this is all. I can't remember if I actually shown this off, but I actually got this mount the other I think last week or the week before. Because I basically ended up getting that's the wrong thing. Ended up getting 3 lines in Wondrous Tale, so I got a gold certificate, and then I got this this friend. Could have picked from a few different mounts, but I just went with that one.
He's a hardy soul, but I'm utterly at a loss. While I managed to heal his wounds, the poison lingers. I fear the worst is yet to come. When I removed his clothes for treatment, I recognized the chains. If this is indeed the creeping death.
Do not lose heart. I shall spare no effort. Rest for now, we may have need of your talents again ere long.
Chigos, man, Chigos. A bloody swarm of them. That came from the east gate. Chigos are known as carriers of the creeping death. The villagers are on edge. If they think the Vilcan harbingers of another plague, they may panic.
Pray see to the Chigos. I shall remain here with the victim.
Speak with the panicked man.
They were near Alder Springs, a whole swarm of them, like an army getting ready for war. Bring in the creepin' death, like as not. Folk be been droppin' dead with no rhyme or reason, and I'm not about to join 'em, no sir. Came running back fast as my legs could carry me. Were you bitten? I will show you to a hero if so. Not a single hole that doesn't belong, you can be sure. You'd best do something about that swarm though. With that we could, but keeping the gate manned is our priority, and we have not the numbers to spare for a hunting party. By the time whaler reinforcements arrive, it may be too late. We'll deal with the Chigos. The one who calls the greater number owes the other a flagon of ale. I commend your bravery. Godspeed, and don't get bitten.
Okay, beat the Chicos. And there they are. Turn on the tank stance. They are honestly really weak.
"12 be praised, and you. I've come bearing a cure for the creeping death, but it's of little use against actual death. That's why I've come. I'd heard tell of a man suffering from uncommon pains at Fall Float. Sensed an opportunity for philanthropy, and a touch of profit, I'll admit. But if what you say is true, his condition demands a much swifter pair of feet than mine. Could you bring the medicine to him in my stead? No need for payment this time, of course. You saved my life, and one good turn deserves another. I only hope the cure works as well as purported. As for me, I'll be on my way, and give any Vilcan I spy a wide berth."
Can set up. Let's see. Creeping Death Remedy, a medicine made from the limbs room, which cures the creeping death.
Thank you for calling the Chigos. Alas, our patient's condition has yet to improve, and it is all we can do to keep him from succumbing to the poison. I know this medicine. It was once used to treat the creeping death. Given his symptoms, it may well prove effective here as well. It works upon the body quite quickly, as I recall.
I.
Hold on just a while longer, my friend. The medicine will soon relieve your pain.
I don't. It hurts. It hurts. AHH. Why?
The man's shrieks die in his throat as his body is racked by violent convulsions. He then falls still and quiet, as if his breath was snatched from his chest. "12 have mercy. At the very least, his suffering is over."
Had we been quicker to deliver the medicine, would he have lived?
Nay, I think not. He was doomed from the moment the poison entered his blood. As will be others if we do not soon gain an understanding of our foe. Let this tragedy not be in vain, but serve as a lesson. Though the effects of Gleipnir's corruption resemble the creeping death, 'tis clear that the two share little else in common. The poison burns through the body more quickly than any disease. Too deadly is it to be borne by creatures so fragile as Chigos, or any other besides.
Then that is one less possibility the people need fear. 'Tis a shame a life was lost, but this knowledge may help us ensure that others are not.
Spread word, but do so with delicacy. In these troubled times, fear and despair can drive even the goodliest of souls to desperate ends. Gleipnir is the only blasphemy known to us in Gridonia, for now. We must do our utmost to stop him from sowing further discord.
Understood, Elder Seed Seer. I'll give this man a proper burial before sharing what we've discovered.
Ascertaining Gleipnir's whereabouts is still a primary concern. Let us return to the Adder's Nest, for information shall be our most reliable weapon in the days ahead, and there is no better place to acquire it.
So back to Gridania. Okay, so that is gonna be the first of 6 quests done. So speak with you.
Gleipnir has been sighted in various locales, and though we are reviewing every report, we suspect most are erroneous. Fear has a way of making one jump at shadows. It will take some time before we have determined which reports merit a more involved investigation. Until then, I ask that you stay vigilant and keep your eyes peeled for any sign of the blasphemy.
Okay. To give voice. Keeper of the Entwined Serpents is eager to resume the hunt.
We have followed up on every report concerning Gleipnir, even those that beggared belief. The most promising suggest the blasphemy is currently stalking the South Shroud. We are to proceed there at once, for there is no telling when it might strike again. The Elder Seed Seer is already en route to Roots Lake. Let us not keep her waiting.
I'm gonna assume that we might be going to all of the areas. So we've gone to North Shroud, we're probably going to go to East and Central as well. It would make sense at least for them to utilize all the areas.
Greetings, Shauna. As luck would have it, my sister Rao frequents Camp Tranquil. We would do well to meet with her first, for she may have knowledge of this threat that can aid us in our search.
Oh, I know her well. She has been teaching me white magic after all. How to be a white mage and everything.
It has been too long, Rao. Gani. I was afraid this situation might force your arrival. Would that this reunion was under more joyous circumstances. It is heartening to see her joined by the bearer of Tala's will. Unfortunately, Gleipnir's poison cannot be cured by any healing force known to us, as I'm sure you have already learned. Nevertheless, I have faith that together we will find a way to defeat it.
She does mention that. Okay.
Every moment is crucial, so let us dispense with further pleasantries. Have you received word of Gleipnir's whereabouts? I have. It recently ambushed a poor traveler, who succumbed to his wounds soon thereafter. A tragic and increasingly common tale. No others in Camp Tranquil have come to harm, but some claim they feel a presence in the distant trees, staring at them with a malicious intensity. They struggle to find the courage to venture beyond the safety of the camp.
I think Odin might have spawned.
While its victims exhibit symptoms reminiscent of the creeping death, Gleipnir's corruption seems only to affect those who have been assaulted by the blasphemy itself. We have yet to confirm a single instance of it spreading from one individual to another. That's somewhat reassuring, but it will provide little comfort to the people here, I think. If Gleipnir comes, any defense we mount will come at great cost. Those who fall wounded will invariably die. I'm at a loss, and the people under my care can see it. They grow tense and bicker amongst themselves, some even accused me of standing idly by while this monster roams free. As if I'm not doing all that I can. I apologize. Would that I had come to you sooner. Would that there were more I could offer you.
Every burden is yours to bear, Kani. Perhaps the elementals could help. go with this one. I think that effect that's happening right now in the area
She
is
right.
due to Odin.
It is the duty of all Seedseers to face this threat, and so we should do so together, with the aid of the elementals as well. Under different circumstances I would agree, but their strength has waned since the calamity, and I am reluctant to impose upon them. Indeed, when I open my thoughts to the elementals, I shudder to hear their distress. Once we have laid low the blasphemy, the elementals will be at peace. Well then, how do you propose we go about that? First allow me to speak with the people here and assure them that all will be well. That Gridonia's resolve to weather this storm remains steadfast. No road is closed to those true of heart. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that you'd begin with an earnest and heartfelt appeal. For my part, I shall reach out to Rune. Perhaps together we can find a way to offer similar comfort to the elementals. I have no doubt we will require their assistance in the days ahead. Thank you, sister. May the 12 watch over and keep you both. May I trouble you to accompany me? The presence of a storied hero would surely lend credence to my claims that the people's difficulties will soon be at an end.
While you attend to that, I shall gather what information I can from the wood whalers stationed here. Pray look for me at the camp proper when you have finished.
And let me just quickly check something here. Which channel is this again? There it is. Okay, so just quickly check the hot Discord. Apparently, Odin is supposed to have spawned down here. And yep, there it is. Might as well join, I'm thinking. I might as well just try and do Odin fight because I remember doing. Oh yeah, Odin's Mantle. I think I have most of the things from this. I just want some more of these, like 3 more of these, so I can craft a Dark Divinity Falleth furniture piece. Just because I kind of want to, but yeah. I was surprised that we haven't started pulling yet. Guess we might not be fully ready yet. We're just waiting for people to show up. Yeah, I did recognize basically the current effect, which is called tension. Oh, this is actually the person that last killed the kill load. Look at the 60 final hit on it. Just their name and appearance basically being the same. For some reason, the person I'm in a group with, I think messed up trying to link this thing. Guess I can... Oh no, wait, they actually did it correctly now. Basically just ended up linking it's the party finder inside the group chat instead of or in party chats of just everyone. Kind of a bit weird that the person I'm in a group with isn't inviting anyone that's like saying looking for group in the chat. Like I can't invite anyone because I'm not the party leader, so it's kind of like, why are you not inviting people? Unless they're already getting invited to other parties, but then it's like just having the party partner doesn't help. Necessarily, at least. I'm just kind of wondering, are we going to pull soon or what? Because no one is really saying anything, to be honest. Also, might as well just quickly go tank stance on Clay. I'm wondering if I should just ask if we're gonna just pull at 18 minutes left. Sure. Just ask that, because we're just getting around, kind of. Like, no one is doing anything. I don't know, one person seemed to reply. This is, I don't want to pull like prematurely because I don't know if there's people on the way or anything. It's just kind of. I don't know if there's like people on the way here. People now asking like how long do we wait and so on, like.
Who is it that would deny me passage?
Alright, we're getting started. I can already see that I need to turn off battle effects. I need to get out of that. That is petrification. That's Holston. That's a bad one for me. I could not move at all. Like I was literally stuck there. Gage is still just going. What's being done? %, left. That's all stone. Get me the fuck out of that. Sunset's again. We need to kill him. There we go. That was it. Thanks. Party and head back to do what I was doing. And I guess while I'm at it, I can quickly use in here. Do more than what I needed, but eh. Maybe I can spend the remaining on something else.
If we are to convince the people that they need not live in fear of Gleipnir, then my words alone may be insufficient. I do not comport myself as an imposing figure blessed with martial prowess, to say the least. You, on the other hand, are renowned as a peerless warrior who has triumphed in countless trials. Simply looking on your features fills me with confidence that this crisis too shall pass. I pray you stay by my side, that those we speak with might be joyed by your presence.
Gani Sen.
Yeah, just as it's following, we don't need to hear that explanation every single time.
Seed seers are sittin' pretty with their guards and finery. What do they care if a beastie is runnin' amok? They'll be fine. That's why they're doing nothing while it hunts us. We'd be fools to trust our lives to those what don't care a whit. Past time we went south. Least in Ul'dah they don't pretend to look out for the common man. Elder Seed Seer. I was just, ER.
I promise you that we are sparing no effort in our hunt for Gleipnir. However, it will take time, and more may suffer before the beast is laid low. Nevertheless, I ask that you place your faith in me, if only for a while longer. I love the Twelveswood and her people with all my heart, and I will not let our enemy torment us forever.
I understand. Man's gotta give voice to his worries from time to time. Nothing I want less than to abandon my home. I'll stick around, for now.
Okay. Strong woman.
A single scratch is enough to spell one's doom, they say. Nothing but to wait for death to come. How can we face a beast like that? Do not give in to despair, my friend. Know that I shall do all in my power to see us through this crisis. Hold fast to hope, and encourage others to do so as well. I'll try, Elder Seed Seer, I'll try. I know you've placed yourself at risk, leaving the safety of the city and coming here, and that means a lot to me and mine. I'll stay close to the whalers and pray news of your triumph reaches us soon. Thank you. I promise you that it will not be long.
Well, this will quickly just de-summon quick, because they are kind of taking up space where Kaisen is standing.
I saw it. A gargantuan beast stalking the woods, with horns the size of my leg. What's to stop it from coming here to fill its belly?
Gleipnir will do no such thing, I swear. I shall see to it personally that the blasphemy does not come within a malm of this village. Keep heart, for brighter days lie ahead of us.
Truly, Elder Seed Seer? Perhaps I've let my imagination get the better of me. You are a beacon in these dark times. I pray.
I shall, you can be certain.
I thought he was done speaking there. Okay. With the keeper.
Will that be all for now, Elder Seed Seer?
It will. I have done what I can to quell the unrest. But so long as Gleipnir lives, they will never be at peace.
Sometimes simply lending an ear does wonders, as must be the case for the elementals, yes. Doubt your chosen course? Let's go with the first one.
Indeed, you are correct. Today was a welcome reminder of that truth, and an important step in our journey. Mayhap I should visit these settlements more often. Doubtless some here think me as distant as the elementals, so rarely do they see me in the outer reaches. You have served me admirably as protectors thus far, for which I am grateful. Yet until we have found and laid Gleipnir low, I must continue to impose upon your goodwill.
'Tis no imposition, Elder Seed Seer. You saved me on the killing fields of Cartino. My life is yours, now and always.
Your life is your own to command, but I thank you for your words. And your conviction, which fills me with confidence that the path we walk is true. Even if that path takes us far afield. Did I ever tell you that, when I was a young student, I would often steal into the woods with a dear friend of mine, much to the chagrin of our teacher? Deep down, I suspect there is still a part of me that yearns to wander where I should not.
Elder Seed Seer. Word from the border, we've got ourselves a right bloody mess, by the sound of it.
What has happened?
Per your earlier instructions, the whalers closed the roads to all travel while we scoured the wood for signs of Gleipnir. But now a group of locals are demanding to be let through into Then Allen. They're terrified, by the sound of it. Screaming about the creeping death and gods know what else.
Despair grips their hearts. If it consumes them wholly, then we may have yet more blasphemies to contend with. I will speak with them. Wild rumors fuel their panic, and with truth and compassion will I convince them to see reason and return to their homes.
If anyone can, it's you, Elder Seed Seer. We're doing our best to keep them calm for now, but my man's words painted a grim picture. I pray you make your way to the border as quickly as you can.
Down to the very bottom of South Shroud. This looks like some slightly more animated cutscene.
Let us through, damn you. We're standing here while the creeping death nips at our heels. You're telling us to die? Those rumors are false. The Elder Seed Seer herself sent word that the creeping death is not responsible for the recent incidents. You mustn't surrender to panic. Return to your homes while we deal with the threat, and pay no heed to baseless stories. 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 I've seen the dead with my own eyes. Don't tell me what is and isn't true.
Hearken to me, my friends. I come before you now to assure you that the creeping death has not returned. Only those who have been wounded by Gleipnir are in danger, and so I beseech you to take shelter in your homes until the threat has passed.
Gleipnir. The beast I saw in the wood? We have to run. It could have followed us. You saw him? Where? Not far from here. Those glistening horns, those terrible chains, reaching out to drag you down to the seventh hell. We ran and never looked back. But don't worry, it didn't catch any of us. No one's marked, see? That means we're safe, right? But say we weren't quite fast enough. What then?
Its horns and claws are where the poison resides, and even a scratch would be cause for concern.
Even a little scratch. Then it's too late for me? Is that why my body feels like it's on fire?
Is he gonna turn into a blasphemy?
You told me the branches tripped you up. You said that's how it happened. You said.
O heavenly wines, guide us to the font of strength. May we drink from it and be made whole.
I don't feel any better. Do it again. Do it again. It hurts. Help me.
Conjury has no effect. There can be no mistake, this is Gleipnir's doing. Even so, I ask that you do not lose heart. Stay strong, for if we surrender to fear, the beast has already won.
No. I don't want to die. Please, help me. Gotta. Get back.
Alright, so that makes it pretty clear that this is supposed to be taking place during the whole, like, Endwalker MSQ, like the later half of it, because this would not be able to happen right now in terms of our current progress, but it would at that point, so yeah.
You said it wasn't, ugh. Why? Why? Liar. Liars. All of you. None of us are safe. None of us will, go.
Despair made manifest. 12 forfend. Is there naught that can be done for these poor souls? Not but one thing, I know. I know. We must lay them to rest. Contain the threat.
Okay. Here we go.
They are, at peace. Would that it had not come to this. I was powerless to prevent it.
You did all you could, Elder Seed Seer. Is that what's going to happen to us? Is there no hope?
What you witnessed was the fate of those who fall to deepest despair. It feeds upon grief and anguish, and is more deadly than Gleipnir itself. But as I swore to you that we shall defeat the blasphemy that haunts our homeland, so too do I swear that despair will not be the end of us. Keep the faith and look to the horizon, for brighter days will come.
As you say, Elder Seed Seer, as you say.
Gleipnir is not here, and so you are free to return to your homes. I but urge you to take care on the path back.
We will, Elder Seed Seer.
This storm has passed, but a darker tempest roils in the distance. So long as the specter of despair looms, the people will struggle to take any words of comfort to heart. We will see more tragedies like this. The elementals too cry out for a solution. The longer we struggle to resolve this crisis, the more innocent lives we put at risk. Rao said we would need to turn to the elementals for assistance, and I know now that she was right. And so I will seek audience with the Great One. However, there are preparations I must attend to first. I shall make the proper ablutions at the lotus stand, pray return to the adder's nest and await my summons.
Okay, back to Britannia then. Actually, a bit unsure if this was going to be a whole thing of like, the quest could take place either after the MSQ or before the end of the MSQ. Due to the fact that technically the blasphemies could spawn in, like the special ones that we're going after, but then you would be able to just kill them afterwards, but they actually straight up have things here that take place, or that can only take place before the end of the MSQ.
Despite our best efforts, we have been unable to prevent further loss of life. I foresee even greater hardship ahead. As we press on, we mustn't forget the words of the Elder Seed Seer. We must strive to remain undaunted in the face of despair. She is preparing for her communion with the Great One. When the time is right, she will call upon us both. Until then, my friend, stay strong.
Gift undone. The tired eyes and slump. Shoulders of the keeper bespeaks wariness.
The situation has worsened since last we spoke. Gleipnir grows bolder in his attacks, and the conjurers are spread thin in their efforts to attend the victims. Moreover, we are no closer to finding a means to counteract the blasphemy's poison. With no choice but to wait until death claims them, some are overwhelmed by hopelessness, becoming mad beasts that lash out at their former countrymen. Such tragedies all too easily beget further tragedy, as bereaved loved ones are in turn overcome and share in the same horrid fate. The people speak of these incidents in hushed whispers, afraid that at any moment a monster might appear within their midst.
We must slay Gleipnir without further delay. Find a cure to the blasphemy's poison. Let's go with this one.
Indeed. Let us hope that the Elder Seed Seer's efforts to enlist the aid of the elementals are successful, and that united we may at last cleanse the 12's wood of this evil once and for all. Urgent news, Shauna. Gleipnir has ambushed a party of wood whalers. They are engaged with the blasphemy near the guardian tree, where the Great One slumbers. This bodes ill. Has it divined the Elder Seed Seer's intent? Is it attempting to prevent her from communing with the elementals? Bah! In any event, we cannot let Gleipnir harm the tree. The Elder Seed Seer bade us rendezvous with her at Sarl Haven. We leave at once.
Okay. The Sorrel Haven. And there's a bunch of weapons and staves, a few shields.
Battered arms and armor are strewn across the ground, but there is no other trace of man or blasphemy.
I see. I think I know what happened here, though I pray that I am wrong.
There is no sign of the wood whalers save their arms and armor. Seasoned warriors would never cast aside their equipment. But here it lies, and I see not a single body.
In the face of certain death, even the bravest among us can succumb to despair. Before the blasphemy's poison took them, they transformed.
Gleipnir could not have gone far. He may be watching us even now.
Be on your guard. The air is thick with corruption. If the wood whalers succumb to a man, then we can expect a hard fight. Though I dread the thought of hurting our brave soldiers, we cannot allow the creatures they have become to roam free. Let us form two groups to more quickly track down and cull the beasts. Once we have finished, we shall regroup under the boughs of the guardian tree.
Okay. Wait locations and defeat any beast at them.
You find no trace of the whalers turned beasts.
Okay. I assume it's probably only in like 2 locations then. is 2. Nope, only 1. Okay, destination. That looks like it might be a slightly more animated cutscene. Yep, it is.
Our work is done, then. The loss of so many brave souls is tragic. But now they are at peace, and the guardian tree is safe. Let us take comfort in that. I but pray that the Great One will hear my plea.
Elder Seed Seer. Are you hurt?
The Great One is filled with fear. An all-consuming fear unlike any I have ever felt. It spoke unto me, and its words were clarion. Drive the evil away. Drive the evil away. It can think of naught else, and so we will not receive the aid we seek. Not until we can dispel the dread that claws at the forest's very heart.
No. This was our last hope.
We are not alone.
Left near, I'm assuming? Yep. Looks like it.
There can be no mistake. This is the profane beast, the blasphemy that has mired the Twelves Wood in despair. Gleipnir. Stay back. It makes for the guardian tree. We must stop it.
The poison. You mustn't let it touch you.
Such fearsome strength.
Oh no, great. Just great. Time for an echo and we're about to fight.
In accordance with our covenant, we Padgil have been blessed by the elementals. From the moment we are chosen, we are bound to act as mediators between man and nature. The most skilled among us are honored as seed seers, and it is their duty to guide Gridania through times both poor and prosperous. I cannot say which of you will be found more worthy. In my estimation, you both have the potential to become seed seers. Of that I become more certain by the day.
Can you send in her friend? Those two.
But I don't want to be a seed seer. I never wanted to be a patchel either. I never asked for any of this. Why can't I live a normal life like everyone else? How come I don't get to grow old? Why was I cursed with these ugly horns? I like them. And maybe we didn't choose to be born this way, but I don't think it makes us that different from everyone else. It's a rare gift, a blessing, even. And if we can use it to help others, then we should. Don't give up on becoming a seed seer, Gani. We'd all be worse for it.
It is Kanisena.
A blessing? I never thought of it that way. I suppose I just hated not having a choice. But maybe you're right.
He's probably the one that turned into Gleipnir.
Gani.
It recognizes her.
The matron is merciful, the elder seed seer has fallen unconscious, but is otherwise unharmed. The blasphemy must not have touched her, for I do not see the telltale mark of poison. Still, I am no healer, and she should be looked after by those who are. I shall carry her back to Gridania. We must leave before Gleipnir returns. Await me at the adder's nest.
Guessing that means the end of this quest. Oh, we're taken to a sanctuary, actually. We get taken straight to where he is gonna be. Almost.
Allow me to thank you again for your assistance. The elder seed seer has been delivered into the care of Sumi Yen, and by the grace of the elementals will she make a full recovery. In fact, she has already regained consciousness, but is not yet allowed to receive visitors. We can but wait for now. Gods damn it, I was useless. I could do nothing while the elder seed seer faced Gleipnir alone. I was to be her shield. That I stand before you while she lies abed is proof of my failure.
She wouldn't have wanted you to throw your life away. Innocent still lives, and still she requires your protection. Let's go with that one.
You truly are the hero of whom the bards sing, aren't you? You've suffered terrible trials, yet still you stand tall and resolute. Thank you for your counsel. How close I came to forgetting the lessons of my past. I've spoken of it to few. Truth be told, it brings me shame to recall it. I fought at Cartino. Not as a soldier of the Aorzean Alliance, but as a conscript in the Garlean Imperial Army.
Oh.
Clad in armor and mahitake, another drop in a sea of pitiless metal. You grow numb to the violence and the killing out of necessity. It becomes routine, work to earn your next meal. But then the moon shattered and the dragon emerged, and when the dust had settled, I was another body clinging to life amongst the fallen. I remember staring at the burning sun above, growing weaker, wondering if the heat or an Aorzean's blade would finish the job. but it wasn't death that came, but salvation. I was delivered from my well-earned fate by the Elder Seed Seer. She deigned to save a man who once bared steel against her people. Her kindness didn't end there. Once my wounds had healed, she welcomed me with open arms. Never did she regard me with distrust, nor did she ever make me feel obliged to repay my debt. She fought not to take life, but to safeguard it. Through our friendship I came to see the wisdom in that distinction, and pledged my remaining years to her service. 'Twould have accomplished nothing to throw myself against Gleipnir in vain, and even if there was profit to be found in the sacrifice, she would not abide it. Your words serve to remind me of this. We will defeat the blasphemy, but we will do so without forsaking that which we hold dear. This I swear.
Okay, are you gonna load the next quest, buddy? There we go. Hacked program. The keeper has good news to share.
Shauna, the Elder Seed Seer has grown strong enough to receive visitors. Come, we must go to Stillglade Fane at once.
Okay, I believe it is over at the Conjurer's Guild. I'm just gonna run there. It's right around the corner. We'll probably take just about the... Why was I stuck there? We're probably taking about the same amount of time just running over to the like Aetherite and teleporting over here, as it does just running here.
Elder Seed Seer, it fills my heart with joy to see you in better health.
I am gladdened by your presence as well, my friend. And lest you wonder, know that the conjurers found no trace of the poison in my humors. If you are ready, I would resume our search for Gleipnir.
They may be up to the task, but you are not. 'Tis one thing to engage in conversation, quite another to go gollivanting about the Twelveswood hunting a blasphemy.
I am aware you are a conjurer of surpassing skill, and would not presume to gainsay your judgment, but have my wounds not healed?
Those visible to the naked eye perhaps. I worry that the strain of your communion with the Great One has taken a toll on you in ways we may struggle to perceive. The Great One is a being of purest ether, and you were exposed to its unbridled despair. Its raw terror. There may be consequences.
I am aware of that, but Gleipnir must be stopped. Until the blasphemy is laid low, people will continue to die. How am I to carry out my duties cloistered here? How am I to deliver the forest and its people from this despair?
'Tis your duties that demand you remain. I understand your frustration, but if you were to fall in battle, if your guiding light you bear were to fade, then all Gridania would be lost. Rest, Gani, rest and gather your strength so that when the time comes, you are fit to do what must be done. In the meantime, trust in your allies.
You are right. That said, I see no reason I cannot join in planning our next step. As you said before, conversation is quite unlike gallivanting about on a hunt. Our encounter with Gleipnir has made it plain that we cannot hope to triumph over it as we are. Only with the Great One's power can we achieve victory. When the seventh umbral calamity was nigh, the Great One committed a portion of its boundless strength to extend a barrier over heaven and earth, the Irmin Hedge. Thus was the Twelveswood spared the worst. If we could convince it to again lend us even a small measure of that power, we would not need fear the poison. Therefore, I believe we should pour our efforts into placating the elementals, that we might earn their favor.
Was making your voice heard then? We must show that we are not the enemy. quieting worked before. Hit me again. I don't remember what the quieting was exactly. Let's go with that one. I don't remember what the quieting was exactly.
Of course. You are the inheritor of Tao's will. Reo and Rune praised the wisdom and bravery you displayed that day.
It's probably something from the White Mage quest line that I don't remember, because it's been a long time since I did that one.
Indeed, we were very nearly overrun by the creatures the Great One called to its defense. But this time is different. The Great One quakes with such fear that it cannot even bear to behold its enemy, let alone fight it. And so we must first find a way to dispel this fear that binds it, and reassure it that together we can defeat Gleipnir. Only then will it hearken to our words. I think too that we must gain a greater understanding of what drives Gleipnir. It seems to bear a resentment towards the elementals, the Great One in particular. Why?
I have pondered this question myself. Lingering memories of the person Gleipnir once was may be responsible. Reports from Radsathan suggest this is likely the case, in fact. If we could but ascertain the original identity of the blasphemy. But where are we even to begin our investigation?
We have some info on that.
You were granted a vision of Gleipnir's past? And I was there? Then I may know who he is. Or was.
As do I. The boy who trained alongside Gani in her youth.
Surasupin. After all these years, is this what became of him?
You mentioned him briefly before. Were you close?
Sura was Padjali, like me. But he had never known his parents, and devoted himself wholly to his studies. He embraced the role the forest had bestowed upon him, and truth be told, was a much better student than I ever was.
A fair assessment. Despite your esteemed heritage, you never took to my lessons as well as he. Ever dreaming of the outside world. Stealing off into the woods more times than I can count. I could not keep watch over you at all hours, not even if I tried. The Elder Seed Seer, a rebellious spirit. I can scarce imagine it.
I resented being a Padjal. It was inconceivable to me that I could not live among the others, and I did not scruple to express my misgivings to Sumiyan at every opportunity. Sura was a pillar of constant support. It was thanks to his encouragement that I at last embraced my destiny and resolved to use my gifts for the greater good. We would become seed seers together, I believed, until one fateful day, when we were gathering herbs in the forest at Sumiyan's behest. We met a wanderer hailing from a distant land who told us his beloved was with child, and that he had traveled to Gridania to beseech the Great One for a painless birth. He asked us to guide him to the guardian tree. However, entry into such sacred places was not ours to permit, and there was something odd about his demeanor besides. With regret I refused him, but Sura was loath to turn away a goodly stranger in need. He agreed to guide the man, despite my protestations. I ran to Sumiyan as fast as I could, and together we made haste to the guardian tree. We found the man motionless on the ground, having succumbed to the Great One's rage. And next to him was Sura, alive but unconscious.
In time he recovered and related the whole story. In truth, the man had been an adventurer, a seeker of wealth and glory, and as he had knelt to make false supplications, he lunged forward to tear a branch from the guardian tree. He was yet a child, and Sura had no inkling of the darkness that could dwell within men's hearts. He learned the lesson that day, but the price he paid for it was great indeed. The Great One stripped Sura of his horns, and with them the right to call himself a Padjal. I was forced to expel him from the fane. I never saw him again, nor heard a word of what had become of him, though not for lack of trying. Despite his hardships, did he remain in the Twelves Wood all this time, I wonder?
He dreamed of naught else but becoming seed seer, of a life in service to the people and the forest. He knew the weight of the responsibility and was eager to bear it. But he was deprived of that purpose by the very elementals he loved. And yet, he did not lose that will to serve, I suspect, and instead resolved to watch over the Twelveswood in his own way. I shudder to think what could have hastened his transformation into Gleipnir. As if his life was not harsh enough.
In our final conversation, Sura confided in me that he would search for a means to calm the Great One's rage and earn absolution. To that end, he said that he would seek the counsel of the Mughals. They have called the Twelveswood home for far longer than we have, and so none are more like to have knowledge of its most hidden workings.
That comes as no surprise. He would not give up so easily on his dream. Even if the Mughals know naught of Sura, they may be able to help us in other ways. Will you travel to the Bramble Patch in my stead, Shauna? I have faith they will accept you with their characteristic aplomb.
Sure, I'll head over there then. Okay. So the Mughals at the Bramble Path.
Quite a peculiar face you have, Kyuko. Familiar, too. You wouldn't be the self-same warrior who gave the legendary Mogul's guard what for, would you? Shauna, was it? Aha! It's an honor to meet you. Allow me to thank you personally for bringing that silliness to an end. Pukway Peak is the name. What brings you to our neck of the Twelveswood? Why, what a pleasant coincidence. We were just discussing how we ought to go about calming the elementals, Kyuko. That blasphemy with the dreadful horns has got them on edge, and for good reason. I've had to ask my personal guard here to sleep with one eye open. In case you haven't noticed, the beast's corruption has been spreading all throughout the woods. Needless to say, we've all got to stand up and put the Twelveswood to rights. Reo suggested that the Mughals contribute by scouring the forest for even the smallest signs of taint. Got to cleanse it before it gets out of hand, you know? Difficult and time-consuming work, but if it's in service to the forest, then we'll do it gladly, Kyuko. Hey, I know you. You're the adventurer who gave me some of my finest scars. Kupti Koop of the Mogul's Guard. No hard feelings about the whole hail to the king, Kyuko, bit, I hope? Not going to call for a rematch either, in case you're worried about that. Reo and the others cured us of our tempering, and afterwards sat us down for a stern lecture. No more calling upon good King Moglamog 12 for us, may he ever remain unsummoned in his royal grace and splendor. Indeed, and what better way to make up for past indiscretions than to serve the realm? Even now, our kin scour every ILM of the Twelveswood, and we would be remiss not to do our part. We would be overjoyed to have a hero such as you helping us as well, if you're willing. Something tells me you have a sharp eye for the taint we seek to cleanse. Can we count on you, Kyuko?
Sure.
Your reputation for magnanimity is well deserved. Let's begin by moving to higher ground, that we may survey the area and locate any particularly nasty spots of blight.
Okay. But
oh, you were able to make your way up here after all. I was worried you'd be stuck. Apologies for leaving you behind, but it's so easy to forget that your kind lack wings, Kyuko.
I think this might be one of the first times I remember us flying and talking to a character.
Now then, where is it? There. To the south? Let us cleanse that festering taint at once.
I feel like usually you can't speak with characters when you're, like, while flying. Usually it just tries to, like, kick you off like, off your mount.
That was some fine work, Kyupo. I dare say it's in even better shape than it was before. The others are doubtless flitting about stamping out corruption wheresoever it rears its hideous head. If I were the Great One, I would be applauding our efforts. Well, insofar as such a being without hands can clap, I suppose. How goes the taint cleansing, Kupti-Koop? I did what I could, but I swear, as soon as I've finished with one area, 2 more start manifesting a fresh taint. The forest's ability to heal itself is waning, and this sickness is spreading too fast for even a legion of muggles to manage. If we don't come up with a better solution soon. The situation is more grave than we imagined, Kyupo. Oh. What do we do? We should maintain our efforts to purify the forest regardless. But since there are only so many of us, we must also help the forest to remember how to help itself. A brilliant idea, I think. How do we go about doing that?
I find it kind of weird that this what happy music is playing while it's like, oh yeah, this isn't working.
Well, I was just getting to that part, Kyupo. I've got it. We perform the friending. Friending. What in the name of good King Mogla Mog 12, may he shower us with love and compassion and Kyupo nuts, is that? Truth be told, I couldn't remember the ancient rite's name, so I just made something up on the spot, Kyupo, but let's forget about that for now and move on to the stuff I do remember. It's an old ceremony, first performed when the nation of Gridania was but a spark of an idea of a random thought in its founders' heads. They knew that if they were to establish a home within the Twelves Wood that they would first have to entreat the elementals for permission. So a mage in their company found and cleansed a few sources of foul ether, planting saplings in their place, and consecrated the soil with a prayer to show the forest the purity of their intentions. The elementals were so taken with his display that not only did they permit his people to settle within the forest, they also bestowed upon him their blessing as proof of their new covenant, Kyupo. Ah, I remember now. The Gridanians still honor the agreement to this day. For every tree that is cut down, a sapling is planted. So, if we follow history's example, we can soothe the forest's pain and also nourish it with new life. That's right, Kyupo. Oh, but I wasn't finished with the story. Remember the mage who planted those sacred saplings? He was none other than Joran, sire of Ohakpada, the very first Padgel. From that day forward, the elementals would bless a select few Ayers with horns, favoring them with their fellowship. The Padgel were exalted by all the peoples of the Twelves Wood, even we Muggles look upon them with awe. And that's how it all began. Something wrong, Kyupo. You have a strange look on your face.
Clipnir may be a Padgel, a former Padgel at least. And this poison is particularly deadly against yours. Let's go with this one.
How dreadful, Kyupo. But what exactly are you saying? So the man you think may have become Gleipnir was a Padgel stripped of his blessing, and the blasphemy kills with a poison that manifests symptoms that resemble those of the creeping death. I feel sorry for the Sura. To love the elementals, only to be shunned by them. To be surrounded by the beauty of the Twelves Wood and know that he was forever an outsider. All for a child's mistake. That despair could easily have caused him to turn. And this poison that preys upon those who bear the Twelves Wood's blessing, the Ayers, just like the creeping death once did, might be another manifestation of that despair. That would explain the elemental's unease, Kyopo. We must redouble our efforts to plant saplings or they might never speak to us again. Indeed. Well, first things first, we must gather as many saplings as we can. Shauna, wait for us at the adder's nest, and make ready for a long and backbreaking day.
Okay, back to the serpent's nest. Okay. Oops, the keeper again.
Welcome back, Shauna. Did the Muggles have any insight into our problems? A reenactment of the ceremony which laid the foundation of Gridania. A fitting plan, given the gravity of the threat our nation now faces. As ever, there is much work to be done before we can even begin. While the Muggles gather saplings, we shall continue to scour the 12's wood for new beasts that must be purged. Let us pray that the Elder Seed Seer regains her strength quickly as well. For now, take a rest, my friend. 'Tis a rare indulgence these days, and one you've earned 1,000 times over.
Okay, Heart's True. The keeper is on the lookout for palms in the distance.
Gleipnir has not been seen since our last encounter. This brief respite may be our best chance to quell the Great One's terror. Make way for the saplings, Kyopo. We've had plenty of practice cultivating our gardens, so selecting the most robust ones was a simple matter. That was the hardest work, so you can help us with the easy part. If you see a spot of corruption, cleanse the taint and plant the sapling in its place, Kyopo. Do it enough times and the Great One is sure to understand that we're doing all we can to heal the forest, which ought to brighten its mood. We'll see to the East Shroud. You should have no trouble taking care of the rest, Kyopo. Your efforts are much appreciated. We will begin without further delay.
I trust you will not object to my company. I dare say healing the forest is one task for which I am more qualified than most.
Elder Seed Seer, are you well enough to leave the city?
I should like to think I have been for some time. In any event, Sumi has finally grown tired of my objections and ceased his attempts to detain me further. Allow me to be the one to consecrate these saplings. 'Twould be an honor to offer words of thanks to the forest for its bounty.
Please do, Kyopo. A prayer from the Elder Seed Seer herself will surely hasten their growth from tiny sapling to towering tree.
Such is my hope. As Joran did before me, I shall approach the Great One in friendship, that it might see through the veil of fear that blinds it and remember our covenant. Let us begin by cleansing all traces of corruption in the central shroud. To Green Tier, I sense that the flow of ether has become warped there.
Impressive, Kyopo. Not even my keen eyes could spot corruption from such a distance.
It is but one of many talents I owe to the elementals. Well then, shall we be on our way?
Okay, where to first? Tier, that is over there. So auto greens here, investigate the corruption and slay any monsters that appear. Okay.
The tank.
Wrong person. There we go.
In gratitude for your boundless blessings do I offer this gift. May it nourish you as you nourish us. At last, the earth is cleansed. There is a settlement not far from here. We should tell them of this sapling, bid them watch over and keep it safe from harm.
Of course, Elder Seed Seer. I shall relay your words forthwith. It will give the people hope to know that they can aid in the restoration of the 12's wood.
Thank you. And now we must go.
I'm guessing she's going to take another spot of corruption.
To Silent Arbor. There's something foul impedes the flow of ether. Let us hurry.
Okay. And go. Do your thing.
The injury has begun to heal, and our next destination lies to the north. Near Hirst Mill, I believe. 'Tis faint, for we are far from the source. Nevertheless, I am certain it is there. Come.
Okay, all the way up there. I think this is the first of them that's actually been inside a town. This quest at least.
'Tis fortunate that the corruption here is faint. A simple prayer should suffice to cleanse this soil, after which we may plant the sapling. I sense no other disruptions in the etheric flow, which leads me to believe that the Mughals have already seen to the remainder. Indeed, the 12s would sighs with a contentment I have not felt in a long while. But will it serve to placate the Great One? I cannot say. Not until we visit the Guardian Tree.
Excuse me, but, you're the Elder Seed Seer, aren't you? What brings you all the way to our village?
Corruption that had upset the balance of ether, but that we have since cleansed with prayer and saplings. Thus has the 12s wood reclaimed a measure of peace.
You've been planting trees?
We have. The elementals have suffered much of late, and with these offerings we endeavor to raise their spirits.
Elder Seed Seer, I've got to protest. What of your people's spirits, we who dread every step we must take out of doors? That terrible monster is still out there, preying upon innocent folk without rhyme or reason. And if it doesn't strike us dead where we stand, its poison will finish the job.
I know that you are afraid. That you and yours suffer still. However, 'tis under the auspices of the elementals that we may call the 12s wood home, and they too cry out for deliverance. Even the Great One quakes with fear for the blasphemy's continued existence. To ignore their plight is to invite greater tragedy for us all. Rest assured, however, that I have not forgotten the needs of the people. We bring comfort to the elementals and renew our sacred ties that we might enlist the aid of the Great One in combating Gleipnir and the suffocating despair it spreads. And so I pray you continue to put your faith in our guardians, and in me.
Would that we could, Elder Seed Seer, but we've been dealing with death and sickness since before Gleipnir's coming. They say the creeping death's nothing to fear these days, but we know better. One of ours caught it not long ago. We gave her the cure, had plenty on hand, and for a while we thought it would be alright, but by the time we realized it hadn't done a damn thing, it was too late to call for a conjurer. It was a sad day for all of us when she passed, but for none more so than her poor husband, Supin. He was beside himself with grief, and who could blame him? And then came Gleipnir to compound our woes.
That was him? That was the previous Patchel?
Supin? It cannot be. Do you speak of Sura Supin?
Sura? No. Supin was an odd one, but no one mistake him for a Patchel. Supin wasn't even his real name, that'd be Alenja. But his wife was fond of calling him Supin for some reason, and it caught on with the rest of us.
I see. And what did Alenja look like?
Well, I'd say he'd seen no more than 30 summers. Kept to himself, came and went with nary a word at times, though after he met his beloved, he became more of a fixture. Friendly, even. His wife was a sickly lass, but she had spirit. But spirit's not enough to beat the creeping death. Pity we couldn't do anything for her.
He had finally made a new life for himself here. Thank you for recounting Alenja's story. Sad though it was, it has helped me to better understand how much you all have suffered. I promise that you will have cause to celebrate soon. Until then, I implore you again to place your faith in the elementals, and in me. Together we shall overcome this crisis. Despite what he said, I am certain this Alenja was Sura Supin. To think that he was living so close by for all those years. Searching for new purpose, and finding true love. Only to be robbed of that fulfillment too. Were he still a Patchel, empowered by the elementals, could he have saved her? He would have dwelt on the question, night after sleepless night. I know I would have. Mayhap in the end he came to blame the elementals for his helplessness. For her death. And in despair was consumed.
The animosity would linger. Endure. And in vengeance would Gleipnir find its final purpose.
We have done all we can to show the Great One the purity of our intent. Let us hope that we will be accepted as friends.
Okay, time to go and see the Great One then.
Our supplications cannot have escaped the Great One's notice. May it be enough to receive an audience.
Looks like it might be a special cutscene again. Yep. Like that at least.
O Great One, may I abide ever beneath your boughs, embraced by your compassion, grace, and wisdom. Bestow the fear within your heart, and know that I am your faithful servant.
All feeling. Passing corruption. Refreshed. Renewed green. Flesh restored. Child of child. Covenant honored. Friend. Friendship. Peace. It worked, the Great One speaks through the Elder Seed Seer. We were right to follow Joran's example.
Corruption is but one aspect of a greater threat. We beseech you to help. We beseech your help to slay Glebnir.
Profanity's spawn. Despair's orphan. Sadness and anger. Sadness. Death's prayer. One and all. Poison potent. Wounds unmending. Withering bark. No strength to share. After all we have done, you deny us? After all the Elder Seed Seer has endured? She has pledged herself to you, devoted her life to the 12's wood. The people cried out for salvation, and she answered. The elementals cried out for deliverance, and she answered. Only you can help us now. If you do not, then we are lost. She is lost. Please, I beg you. We beg you. What are you doing here? We've been dependent on the Seed Seers all our lives, blaming them whenever something goes wrong, without ever considering what we might do ourselves. But no longer. The Elder Seed Seer has gone to incredible lengths for her people, and so her people have come to return the favor. If her plea alone is not convincing enough, then we will raise our voices in support. We couldn't let them make the journey without protection. And we couldn't let them put us to shame. We too have come to stand with the Elder Seed Seer and beseech the Great One for aid.
We all want the same thing, don't we? Peace restored to the forest, so please, share what you can, however little. Do not forsake us. Do not forsake her.
Gani. Covenant's child. Walks with man, with elemental. Keeper of ancient faith. Unbroken. Cannot. Will not, break faith. To man, render up, flesh. Then you, agree to help us? Flesh, branches. Take and join, to oldest elders. Renew bond. As one stir. Raise up, to heavens, covenant symbol. Our staff. All join. All bloom. All peace.
My duty weighed heavy on my heart. So heavy that at times I scarce remembered to breathe. For days and nights I worried that I would be found wanting. But by your faith and trust has the path forward been revealed to us. You came hither, united in purpose, and bared your hearts before the Great One. Nay, Credonia, is forever in your debt. May I rely on you all once more? I bid you take these branches to every corner of the 12's wood and join them to the eldest trees, that we might finally win free of this despair.
It shall be done, Elder Seed Seer. We swear it.
Once the trees have been bound together in spirit, I shall carry out the Great One's final instruction and cast its cleansing power all across the 12's wood. Yet I must remind you, my friends, that Gleipnir still stalks the forest. It will not remain idle, it will attempt to stop us. Go with hope in your hearts, but do not lose sight of the danger.
Okay. We've entered a sanctuary, so are we in Gridania? Yep.
I admit, for a moment I thought it wouldn't work. But the Elder Seed Seer moved not only the hearts of the people, but that of the forest itself. Her final task appears to be a bit more complicated than the Great One made it sound, and so she must scour the ancient texts before the time comes, and consult with the Seed Seer Council to make sure all goes according to plan. It's just as well. We still need to wait until the others have joined the Great One's branches to the many ancient trees scattered throughout the 12's wood. Then, of course, there is the matter of Gleipnir. He will not go peacefully as we work to hasten his demise.
Awesome. Why are you saying that, Bravo? What exactly have I done that's awesome?
When he comes, we must be ready.
Let's see, awesome. God. Okay, we got some coconut cod chowder. Okay. And I think this is the last quest. Or the tanks at least. The path unveiled. From what I can see, it looks like that is the last one. Because you tolerate my bullshit. Fair. Battle unveiled. Get two of these materials, it seems. And the Keeper, Entwined Serpents, is pleased to see you.
Impeccable timing, as always, Shauna. But moments ago, the Elder Seed Seer sent word to go and fetch you. She's already on her way, and will explain everything herself when she arrives.
The children of the Twelves would, both Moogle and man alike, have sallied forth, branches in hand, to the far reaches of the forest. Soon their task shall be completed, though the shadow of death yet looms large, they do not allow despair into their hearts. They hold fast to their faith in a brighter future. We shall see their hope rewarded, and by the grace of the elementals, consign these grim days to memory. We need... You may recall that the Great One's words were muddled and esoteric. I believe it was an instruction to carry out this esoteric ceremony in order to expunge the corruption befouling the forest, that the once tainted earth may begin to mend. For you see, when the Ermine Hedge last was formed, it was to protect the Twelves wood from threats without. The Great One acted as a guardian, embracing the woods to shield them as a father would his child. On this occasion, however, we will call upon it to nourish and revitalize, as a mother nurses her child to make them strong against sickness. In channeling the power of the elementals in this way, we can stem the spread of Gleipnir's poison, and the scars of its passing will finally heal. At least, that was what the Great One intended to say, I believe. The Seed Seer Council agrees with my interpretation and has permitted me to perform the ceremony. I have in my possession a single branch, the final one to be attached to the eldest tree of the Twelves wood. For all that you have done to aid us thus far, I ask you accept this honor. Who better to set the final stone in this new foundation for everlasting peace? You who have sacrificed so much for the sake of others. If we had even a sliver of your courage, we could move mountains. Thank you, my friend. We will find the tree of which I spoke in front of the Leather Workers Guild. Let us depart.
Okay. So I'm assuming that during this quest I'm probably gonna end up actually I think it's gonna be the best route going this path. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna find Gleipnir during this. Because I feel like they kind of have the same structure as the role quest from Shadowbringers, only we don't get a solo duty early on. That is indeed a big tree. Like, it's slightly differently structured, but I think it's because instead of trying to like have the story be around like some characters that we don't really know anything about, aka the allies from what is this Outbird's group, we're instead I think basically learning about just the city-state leaders, I'm guessing.
Look to the boughs above, and you will see a spot where the bark has been discolored by age and the elements. There you must affix the branch.
You ascend the ancient trunk and affix the branch of the guardian tree to the weathered bark as directed by the Elder Seed Seer.
You are quite the climber. And with that, all preparations are now complete. Let us return to the guardian tree, and with the aid of the Great One deliver salvation to the whole of the Twelves wood.
I would not be surprised if that's also where we have to fight Gleipnir. That does seem like it could be a... like, where is the arena? Oh, it's actually right here.
If it is truly Sura's lingering resentment for the elementals that drives the blasphemy, then it will surely come. For the sake of the man he was, I must try to appeal to his reason. But should I fail, then we will have no recourse but to fight. Regardless, this day we shall bid farewell to Gleipnir.
Okay, let's do this.
Through the branches of the guardian tree, the 12's wood is become as one. In summoning the Ermin hedge, every ILM of these sacred lands will be imbued with the Great One's nourishing ether. The forest will be empowered to heal itself, to break free of Gleipnir's despair. The ceremony is complex and delicate, and I must maintain focus. I trust you will do what is necessary to see that I am not interrupted.
I'll try my best.
Gleipnir comes. Defend the Elder Seed Seer.
Blasphemy, Gleipnir.
Are the elementals so deserving of your scorn? Do you hate me, too, for my horns? I knew a boy once, a boy who called them gifts. Symbols of the blessings he resolved to share with the world. Yet the beast before me now brings naught but misery and death, marks its victims with chains to bind and condemn. To share in its suffering. I was not there for you then, but I am here for you now. To unmake what you have become. I shall begin the ceremony. Stand fast, and remember what we fight for.
Okay.
The Elder Seed Seer must not be disturbed. Protect her. He makes for the Elder Seed Seer. To her side. The pain is too much to bear. I cannot move.
Guess that's... Okay, I should run here. Oh. That's not something that I've seen before. Wait, have we been stirring combat like this or what?
You must fend off his attacks if the Elder Seed Seer is to survive.
Okay, I'll send that. Just gotta make sure that I'm ready to interrupt. Kinda fucked up my order of attacks there first.
The ceremony is almost complete. Keep Gleipnir at bay. That mist bears Gleipnir's poison. Do not allow them to drift near the Elder Seed Seer. Ugh. I can scarcely raise my spear. Has the poison taken effect already? The ceremony is almost complete. Bear Gleipnir's wrath for just a while longer.
Almost done.
He calls upon his wicked minions. Bring them to me, they will fall before my spear.
Okay. Oh, that's don't want to open up all of that.
My ether is exhausted. I cannot stand.
I shall draw his ire. Shauna, lend the Elder Seed Seer a portion of your power.
Okay.
Come, you pitiful beast. Let us see the contents of your innards.
By the grace of the elementals!
Hey. Oh, you got knocked back.
By the light of the crystal!
So long as we are within the barrier, we need not fear Gleipnir's poison.
However, the battle is far from over. Steel yourselves.
Shauna, to me. We must group together.
Even Gleipnir lashes out in the face of death. Bring an end to its misery while the barrier still stands.
Sura, I now fathom the depth of your suffering. For all that you held dear, I shall see to it that you are given peace.
What's will be done?
His rancor makes even the elementals shudder in fear. The barrier may not last for much longer.
Press the attack.
Doing as much damage as I possibly can. There we go.
Through sacred soil and azure skies may your compassion flow and swell to banish the darkness.
Preceding terror is full quiet. Blessing, covenant preserved, now and always, child of child. Honor and gratitude unending.
For we as well, honor and gratitude unending. We could not have overcome the blasphemy without your aid. In your everlasting grace, I pray you continue to guide we children of the forest. In your boundless mercy, I pray you forgive the lost and forsaken who succumb to despair. To you, my dear Sura, I promise I shall never forget your words of wisdom. Ours is indeed a gift and a blessing, and a duty to our people I will uphold. Until my final breath. This I swear. Thank you, Shauna. The great cleansing could not have succeeded without you. The blight has been purged, and the blasphemous beast which bore it laid low. The sacred wood that once held its breath in fear now breathes a long sigh of relief. I must return to Gridania and my regular duties as Elder Seed Seer, but I should be glad if you could call upon me there, that is, if I may impose upon you one final time. Thank you. I promise not to detain you at length. Let us meet again at the Lotus Stand.
Okay, so... Anya? Yep. Then I'll just teleport over to the Conjurers Guild, and... yeah, from there just... go straight to the Lotus Stand. At least I'm assuming that's where I'm supposed to go. Because she said Council of Lotus Stand, so yep. Silent Conjurer.
The Elder Seed Seer awaits you with...
Yeah, escort me in. It could be a special cutscene.
The Great One's ether flows all throughout the Twelves Wood, purging the last vestiges of Gleipnir's poison. The surviving wounded are no longer in danger and have begun to recover at long last. We have much cause to rejoice, in no small part because of you, my friend. On behalf of Gridania, and myself, allow me to thank you yet again for your tireless efforts in bringing Gleipnir to heal.
You went above and beyond the call of duty for the sake of our people and their homeland. You were inspiring to behold, and not for the first time, I must say. Forgive me, Elder Seed Seer, but, with this crisis behind us, I would suggest a new course of action.
Oh? And what would that be?
Rest. In all our time together, I have never seen you so hard pressed. Surely you are weary and could benefit from a brief respite?
I appreciate your concern, my friend, but I cannot. Will not. One day, perhaps, but not this day.
But Elder Seed Seer.
Recent events have given me cause to reflect upon my past. Upon lessons that I once thought I had taken to heart. When I did not yet understand the duty with which I had been entrusted, when these horns of mine were but chains binding me to a destiny I did not choose. 'Twas Sura who taught me to appreciate the gift I had been given. Had he not been there to help me keep to the proper path, where would my errant feet have taken me instead? He was perhaps the first, but he would not be the last. My brother and sister and countless other kind souls, through their words and their support, have also helped me to continue to find a way forward, even when I thought there was none. 'Tis by opening our hearts to one another that we, in turn, open new paths, that we can conceive of greater opportunities and brighter futures. All who live within Gridania are deserving of these gifts, and so I must always be there for them, that together we may journey in safety through darkest night.
Not tempted to live wild and free like an adventurer? Don't decide to live for yourself and outside. Let's go with this one. That one seems a little bit more teasing, I guess.
It is not without its appeal. I recall fondly the few occasions I have traveled beyond. Our time together in the churning mists left a lasting impression. If ever there came a time when I need no longer serve as Elder Seed Seer, I should like very much to accompany you on another adventure. Regardless of what the future has in store, my present course is clear. So long as we Pedjal serve as a bridge between man and elemental, Gridania can weather any storm. And so I will continue to walk hand in hand with my people and my patrons, along a path that we discover together.
So what do we need to do next? Speak with him.
Though the blasphemy is no more, there are still administrative matters to resolve. If it is not too much to ask, could you bring word of these recent events to our delegate in Rads Adhan? It has been an honor and a pleasure, my friend. May the elementals watch over and keep you.
Okay, and that's the last step, I guess, so... I do believe that once we complete this quest, we're done with all of the tank role quests. So that means that I can basically get started on one of the others, but I'm probably not going to do that today because it has been like a little over 3 hours, so I am not going to be able to do that in like that'd be like hour, like, yeah, I can't do an entire role quest in like that takes around 2 to 2.5 hours in like an hour. That's not possible, or less than an hour. That's just not even possible.
Welcome back. I pray you have brought glad tidings. Gleipnir is slain? You've brought joy to me on an otherwise uneventful day. Of course, I had complete faith in your success, but had begun to worry ever so slightly when you did not return as quickly as I anticipated. I shall report your success to the envoys at once. If we have further need of you, I pray you will answer our call. You can now dye the job-specific gear for level 90 tanks.
Yep. get more than death. Age gives nothing. It's just an achievement, I guess. Actually, here's, do we get... Yeah, there is an achievement at the very end of the... Like, once you've done all of the role quests, and have finished up the 4 remaining quests, do we get an achievement where we get the title Blessed Relief? That's still gonna take a while before I can get that one. Okay. I don't really have anything else that I could feasibly do in-game. Like in the last 40 minutes ish of the stream. There's not anything that I can think of. So I guess I could just end the stream a little bit earlier today. Because that would allow me to basically get a few things done that I don't feel like streaming. And I can maybe also go to bed a little bit earlier. So I can, because I have some things that I need to do tomorrow as well, before the stream. Kind of makes things line up, I guess. So, yeah, we do have a stream tomorrow that is probably going to be the usual, like, maybe the usual length, as I've usually done Saturdays. Even though it's not going to be Elden Ring, because that's over basically. I haven't figured out what the next game is going to be yet. And I've kind of planned that tomorrow I'm not going to do anything new. I'm thinking of playing some Final Fantasy, and what my plan is I want to do some fate farming. That's at least the current idea that I have. Specifically, try and farm out the remaining 57 fates that I need to do in Ultimate Duel in order to get to rank 3. Because currently I've done it to Stepnair, and I'm still missing like a lot in the other ones. That's currently what I'm thinking, at least. I might add some other stuff to it, because to be honest, doing fate farming can be a little bit boring, so I might possibly add in, like, turn on the media share in Streamlabs. Do have to, like, turn on the whole, like, I'm forgetting what it's called now again, the monitoring of the queue or something like that. There's a whole thing with that where I kind of need to make sure that that is on, because I have had at least one time where while I was streaming, it was Terraria, someone came into the stream, seemed normal enough, and then they made a media request to I think it was an educational video regarding penises, that literally showed a penis, like full on, and that was in the media of like, okay, yeah, quickly open up, or just quickly hide that, disable media request really quickly, and then just ban that person, because that was like yeah, don't do that. Honestly, you shouldn't do media share. Why? Is there something bad about it, or is it because there's a risk of bad people basically doing stuff with it? Much hassle for nothing, and also the moderation board. True, there can be a bit of that stuff. also just quickly switch over to this, I guess. There is some stuff with it that can be a bit annoying. But I do also kind of like, I like the idea at least of media share, but yeah, there is definitely problems with it as well, because needing to moderate what is actually being requested, that's a whole thing, especially because I don't really want stuff with like copyrighted music in it either. So yeah, I think also usually when bigger streamers do like media request stuff, they probably also have like a few moderators just going through every single video and basically being like, oh yeah, this does not comply with the terms of service, remove that, stuff like that. Yeah, want to go through them before they got on screen. Yeah. So that like, I like the idea of them though, but yeah, there is still the whole like problems with it. It's just I feel like I need something on the side that can kind of be entertaining instead of just me running around doing fates, because there's not going to be a whole, like, I'm going to have a problem basically coming up with the subjects to talk about, I think. Especially considering it's going to be like several hours of just fate grinding. I do have to do 57 of them in total, so that takes some time. I can invite people I know on. True. That is an option. I could do a similar thing of just like dropping into the Danish VTuber Discord, I guess. Specifically, I guess, into the stream room. In that case, that is an option at least. I can think about it at least. I still have until like I have almost 12 hours to basically figure that out after all, but yeah. Then you have some people to bounce with. True. Think about it. I will. But yeah, my current plan is, at least regarding the Saturday streams, is Final Fantasy tomorrow. Next weekend, I still don't fully know what I'm gonna do there. I have an idea for something, but I kind of need to. I need to prepare some stuff if I want to do that. I kind of want to keep it a secret as well. I do know that next Friday, I have some ideas at least for what's going to happen there. For one, we're probably going to get, I think, let me actually quickly pull up the game again because I need to check. And do some maths really quick. And let's see. We should, I think, be able to get the Loperids up to rank 7, I think. If I make sure to do all of their dailies every single day, and also do the double up today, I should be able to at least get them max rank, or at least to rank 7. Might have to do some dailies though on Friday, but we should be able to do that, if my math is correct at least. And on Friday we're also gonna get the live letter, that's what it's called, for patch 6.4. At least the first live letter of that. So I might also go through that on stream. I can't do it while the live letter is happening, because that's happening at like, I think it's 12. So like the middle of the day, and I'm not home at that point. I just kind of want to check with me. When was it again that it's happening? Let's see. It is at 11 GMT, so that is 12. Yep, 12. So middle of the day. Here in Denmark, at least. But yeah, they're basically just gonna go over like patch 6.4 part 1 and miscellaneous updates. So gonna be interesting. And I'm assuming we might get a trailer as well for the patch. Maybe, because I don't remember if it's usually in the first or the second live letter that they come out with the trailer, because I don't remember when it was for. I think it's usually in the second live letter that they do it, because I believe for patch 6.3 that was the live letter during like Christmas. I think it was like on the 23rd, or maybe it was the 24th. I don't quite remember which one it was, or maybe it was the 25th. I think it was one of those 3 days that the live letter happened. But we also got the trailer, and I couldn't watch the trailer because my internet at my parents' place is absolutely garbage. Rather than to also live like out in the middle of nowhere, so yeah, don't exactly have the best internet. Although they should have better internet now, due to getting a new like connection wires, I guess. So that's good at least. But yeah, at least have some plans for next weekend, and I might, depend on how long it takes, because we do also have the Easter holiday next week. I think it starts Monday, I think. So basically on Friday we're gonna have Lawbirds rank up, live letter stuff, events, which apparently has an emote, a history roll, and an entire outfit, which is actually a lot. And it looks like it might be a decent emote from what I've seen. But yeah, we have all of that stuff, and I'm probably also going to do a roll quest series. Maybe. Kind of depends on how long all of the other stuff takes, but it shouldn't take more than an hour, I think, that stuff. Maybe. I guess we'll see. Anyway. Enough rambling, time to find someone that I can potentially raid. Let's see. Based on the people that are currently streaming in the Danish VTuber Discord, we have 3 that I can see. Let's see here. How long have each of you been streaming for? Day? Let's see. Got one person that's been streaming for like almost 3 hours now. What about you? It wants to load that info. 2 hours and 40 minutes. Okay, and that. Also 2 hours and 40 minutes, so they basically all been streaming for around the same amount of time. And the question is just who to go for. Yeah. I think I know who I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with Cryomi, who is currently playing some Final Fantasy XV. Yeah, let's go with them. But yeah, I should hopefully be back tomorrow, as I said, at around, I think it was 12 that I wrote on the schedule, at least. I think. Yep, 12. Yeah, we'll try and be on at least at 12-ish. Hopefully nothing ends up preventing me from starting the stream earlier, but that does happen from time to time, because I end up just being like, oh, I have plenty of time, and then I end up suddenly realizing that, oh, there's, I don't know, 10 minutes until I'm actually supposed to be starting the stream. And then something like, oh, I actually need to go and, I don't know, use the bathroom or some other dumb stuff where it's like, oh, I actually can't start the stream yet until in like 30 minutes or something because of reasons, and need to set things up, especially when I had to do Elden Ring. I needed to basically be like, oh yeah, I need like at least 10 minutes to set up all the shit, because problems with that whole setup. So yeah. Anyway, hopefully I'll be back at least at that time tomorrow. So yeah. Anyway, gonna go ahead and raid Cryomi now. So have fun over there and enjoy some Final Fantasy 15. Yeah. See you guys next time. Bye.